Good Wednesday morning, South Carolina Weather Watchers. I'm the host for South Carolina Weather, Jesse Peterson. And happy Wednesday. We are halfway done with the week, and let's go ahead and talk about the forecast for today. Looking at the radar right now, a couple of showers up there in the North Myrtle Beach region, as well as some showers and maybe even some heavy downpours up here near Pageland, Jefferson, Kershaw, Elgin, Camden, South Carolina, Lancaster, South Carolina. Everybody else, so we get a little bit of a break from all the rain, but don't worry, that won't last too long, as some rain will come back later, and I'm pretty sure everyone else will start to receive more rain. But going on ahead and looking at the entire United States, and we're going ahead and switch over to the MRMS, going ahead and move outward. You can obviously see that, I mean, it's really busy inside the U.S. Obviously, if you look at our warnings, watches, and advisories, some flood watches up there in North Carolina, as well as some dense fog advisories out to sea, some coastal flood watches and advisories for the Mid-Atlantic, freeze warnings up here for Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, even some winter storm advisories and some warnings up here in the north. Same with California with some wind advisories in Wyoming, even a high wind warning up there inside of Wyoming, and river flood warnings for just most of the south. But completely just zoning out all the warnings, watches, and advisories. You can obviously see all the rain and maybe even some those severe storms down there in Florida. Rain blob over here in the mid-Atlantic, and some scattered downpours up there in the northeast. Snow up here south the north, as well as some ice up in Canada. We also do have some rain down here in southern Texas, maybe even some rain and a snow mix in Oklahoma, possibly giving Oklahoma City some snow. We also do have some rain and, well, pretty much just snow actually, going through South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas, as well as rain and a snow mix hitting the west right now, giving rain in the valleys and snow in the higher elevations. And the Rockies looking pretty quiet right now. So that is something that we haven't been seeing for a couple of days. Switching on, let's go ahead and talk about our cloud cover. Cloud cover for right now is looking to be pretty bad. To be completely honest, it looks pretty bad. We may have some clearing near the Spartanburg region, but I don't think it will last that long. I think cloud cover will eventually come back, and if it doesn't, well then probably means that you're done with rain for the day. But I do think that some cloud cover may try to recoup and try to connect back. But um, in in terms of cloud cover, y'all will probably be the first up there inside the upstate. Y'all will probably be the first ones to start to see clearing for the first time because the storm is moving east. But it's going to be moving very slowly. This is a very slow moving cold front. Here is our temperatures for right now. 61 in Greenville, 66 in Columbia, 70 in Charleston, 70 in Savannah, 66 in Myrtle Beach, 62 in Augusta, 70 in Orangeburg, 68 in Sumter, 66 in Florence, 57 in Rock Hill, and 69 in Lewis. So those are our current temperatures right now. If you want to see some more towns, you can go ahead and see which one you are for, which one you are in. And here's our maximum temperatures. Maximum temperatures today around 72 in Columbia, 74 in Sumter, 73 in the Florence region, 68 in Myrtle Beach, 72. I think that is in Charleston, 75 in Savannah, 72 in Augusta, and 71, 73 up there in the upstate. So, pretty much, it's going to be pretty much warm throughout most of South Carolina. Even though it's raining, it's going to be warm. Temperatures up in the 70s, that is definitely supportive for some thunderstorms, especially. And speaking of thunderstorms, we'll talk about that when we get to the severe weather or the SPC outlook, because something that I knew was going to happen actually did happen. But here's our 24-hour max wind gusts. Wind gusts get up to 34 up there inside Greenville, Spartanburg region. 18 near Anderson, 23 near Columbia, 24 near Sumter, 23 near near Florence, 22 near Myrtle Beach, 22 near Charleston, 17 near Savannah, and 19 near Augusta. So those are our max wind gusts for the next 24 hours. 24-hour precipitation like I was talking about, Spartanburg, Reedville, Spartanburg, most of the upstate, y'all are done with rain for the day probably. But if you're inside Columbia, you still can get another 6/10 of an inch. If you're in places like, that is, Augusta, another 1/10 of an inch. Another 2 inches is possible for Florence. Another 1.7 inches is possible for Sumter. 1.1 possible for Charleston. 1.3 possible for Myrtle Beach. 1.5 possible for Savannah. So we still are watching for that rain and that heavy rain for that excessive rainfall. And look up there in North Carolina, around 2 to 3 inches of rain is possible for them. And we'll talk about that's why they're under those flood warnings up there because of that amount of rain. And we're going to talk about that after we talk about the SPC outlook. But I was talking about this yesterday. If you were here for yesterday's video, you know I called this. I said I would be very shocked to see if they did not add a marginal risk of severe weather. And look at that, they did. So, marginal risk of severe weather, mainly for Columbia, Sumter, Florence, Charleston, Savannah, Myrtle Beach. So we're just watching for a 5% chance of damaging hail and a 5% chance of damaging wind. So, gusty winds and small hail is possible. Maybe even some isolated 40 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts and maybe some isolated small hail, as you know. So that's what we're watching for today. And really, just gonna have to wait and see what happens. But watch out for that severe weather if you're inside any of the regions above, inside the green. If you look at tomorrow we do have a day 2 risk of thunderstorms, mainly just for Charleston and Myrtle Beach and Georgetown. So that's all we're watching for tomorrow, just a general risk of thunderstorms. And Friday, no risk of thunderstorms. So that's that. Day 1 through 8, we're not watching anything for 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. And then here's our excessive rainfall outlook for today. We do have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall for most of us. A little tiny tip up there is inside South Carolina. You can kind of see it right there. If you look up, kind of like to the, like right where the border starts to get from going slanted to going straight, you can see like a little yellow entering South Carolina, but that probably won't change as much. But yeah, they do have that slight risking effect for North Carolina, which is, again, another reason why they have those flood watches up, and everyone else is just at a marginal risk. Obviously, no winter storm index is happening, and that's pretty much it. So, thank y'all so much for watching this morning forecast update, and I will be back, potentially, if severe weather starts going down and we get a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings and maybe even a tornado warning, which I know a lot of people said is not possible, but I was looking at some of the models for the CIPS, the CSU, and I'm going to show that now. But if you look at here, the CSU does highlight a bit of a 2% chance for a tornado. So if a tornado warning does get in effect, or if we get a whole bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings, I will probably go live and cover it. So watch out for that. But if nothing happens, I'll probably just turn on the radar and keep the radar up. But if I do decide to go live, I will turn off the radar stream and then actually go live again and resend out the notification saying that I'm going live. But yeah, that'll be about it. So thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all either with another stream, like with a severe weather coverage, or I'll be back this evening.